What's up, guys? It's Tony from Streetball Strategies, where we use strategy to build your streetball legacy. Today we're talking about the love of the game and how it's starting to become overlooked and how it's crucial that it is not. So say you know a young kid who really loves the NBA, who's infatuated with the fame and the fortune and the social media following that NBA players have. And they say to themselves that that's what they want. They want to play in the NBA, they want the fame, the fortune, the social media following, and so they make it their goal to become an NBA player. What that kid may not realize is that today's NBA players are more skilled than they have ever been in the history of the NBA. Back in the 80s and 90s, the most elite NBA players were not just the most talented players, they were also the hardest working players. But back then, the positions they played were very specific. Centers, forwards, and guards played very specific positions at very specific places on the court. Centers played around the basket and they tried to get rebounds and score inside. Forwards played around the wings and tried to set up guards and centers. And then the guards played around the perimeter, tried to space the floor and make threes. But the most elite players today have skills at every position, regardless of their talent, regardless of their size. Big guys can shoot threes and spread the floor and dribble and pass, and small guards can get inside and get triple doubles by scoring around the basket and getting rebounds. And they do this regardless of their talent. Big guys can do what small guys can do, small guys can do what big guys can do because they are skilled at every position. The most elite players have that high level of skill. But in order to have that skill, it takes a lot of hard work over a long period of time to become that skilled. My question is, for that kid who's infatuated with the NBA, are they willing to go through the hard work it takes to acquire that skill over such a long amount of time? Is the motivation of being rich and famous and having such a large social media following, is that enough motivation to carry them through the hardships of becoming that skilled? Maybe it is, but I'm guessing probably not. I have a video about how curiosity is legacy fuel, and it talks about how if you're curious to become a good player, how that curiosity can carry you through the hardships of learning the game in order to become a great player, which is perfectly true. But let me put it to you like this. I love music, and I have occasionally wondered about if I were to try to learn an instrument, if I could become a good proficient musician. That's not ever going to happen because even though I love music, I don't really have the curiosity to go along with trying to become a good musician. But I do love basketball. But what would happen if I had the curiosity to become a great basketball player, but I didn't have the love for it? If I was only curious about trying to play a high level of basketball, but I didn't really care about the sport? What if that kid who is infatuated with the NBA, what if they're super curious about whether or not they can get there, but they don't really have the passion to do so? They don't really have the love and the dedication to put towards putting in the hard work to learning such a high level of skill to get there. And since the NBA is the standard bearer for all of worldwide basketball, that means with the skill level being so high in the NBA, skill level in college has to be that high. Skill level in high school has to be that high. Skill level in AAU has to be that high. So how do you get kids to have such a high level of skill over such a long period of time? The conventional wisdom is you find kids as young as possible who have a modicum of skill. You try to identify that as young as possible, and then you start teaching them the skills and drilling those skills into them as young as possible. And while I appreciate skilled basketball players, I feel like treating basketball like a job and a business so young is very detrimental to a basketball player's development. Before the age of 13, I was terrible at basketball. I didn't have any skill, I didn't compete, I wasn't trying to get better, I didn't care about any of that stuff. I just loved being on the court. I loved the motion of the game, I loved the activity of the game, and I just loved being out there even though I knew I wasn't any good, but I didn't care about that because it was just fun and I loved it. At 13, I did start to learn some of the fundamentals of the game, and I did start to develop some skill, and that started to spark the fire inside of me that if I could make a little bit of improvement in my game, could I make even more improvement over a longer period of time? And since I already loved the game, once I started to develop skills, it sparked the fire of curiosity in me to see how good I could get at the game and how efficiently I could do it. Check out this clip.
I remember maybe a couple of months ago, he sends me a text, and he's saying, I'm trying to teach my daughter some moves. And I don't know what I was thinking or what I was working on, but what were you thinking about when you were as you were growing up, trying to work on your moves? I said, what age? He says, 12. I said, at 12, I was trying to play baseball.
So Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player that has ever lived. At 12, he wasn't drilling basketball, he wasn't studying basketball, he wasn't treating it like a job or a business. He was just doing what he loved. He loved baseball, and he was trying to develop the passions that he had for those loves in his life. And once that love and that passion was developed, he then started to develop the curiosity to see where basketball could lead him. That kid who is infatuated with the NBA and is trying to make their NBA dreams come true, regardless of how talented they are, if they don't have the passion and the love of the game to push them through the hardships of learning all the high-level skills that it's going to take in order to get there, their curiosity is not going to be enough to get them to that point. If they don't have the love and the passion to go along with their curiosity to try to get to the big leagues, then they're looking at a much more difficult path than they would be if they were to let their passion fuel their curiosity. There's a very specific order here that leads to a very specific combination. First, you develop the love and passion for something, and then from that love and passion, you can then grow your curiosity to see how good you can become at it. With that combination, you'll be able to invite the hard work that comes with developing the skills that is required to play at such a high level of basketball. But the curiosity for greatness without the love of the game is as useless as the love of the game is without the curiosity for the game. I bring this up because I think that the younger the players are when they start to work on their skills, and the younger they are when they start to treat basketball as a job instead of a game that you're supposed to enjoy, the more damage we're doing. If we want players to develop these high-level skills, they have to come with the right motivation. Otherwise, such hard work to acquire such high-level skills is not going to happen. We need to allow these kids the opportunity to love the game and grow and develop their passions properly before we start treating basketball like a job. The more they love the things they do, the more they wake up in the morning and are excited to hit the court and start studying game film and start developing these high-level skills. The more excited they are, the more they love doing that, the harder they're going to work, and ultimately the higher skill level they will have. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys appreciate that there is an actual order that is to be learned here, which is love the game first, have fun, and then worry about your curiosity to become great. If you guys like these ideas, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also hit that notification button so that you can be notified of future videos that are released that have to do with the philosophy of Streetball. And I will see you guys next week.